Elon Musk has just fired. He's just fired off some shots at Lucid, and I mean big time. But realistically, Lucid stock has just tanked right after Elon Musk made these comments. But was it Musk's comments that tanked the stock, or was it the reality that investors are realizing? Lucid stock has tanked, and a lot of people think, well, hey, this is a good opportunity to get Lucid stock when it's cheap. But it's worth keeping in mind one very important factor, which is what Elon Musk has actually warned us about. It's something not many people know about Lucid, the company themselves. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Lucid stock price has just fallen overnight from $3.70. It was at a record of about $60 US about just over a year ago, but $3.70. From $3.70 to $2.90. So that's a pretty significant drop. That means it's fallen by around 20% within a day. A lot of people are saying it's because of what Elon Musk said. However, analysts are saying Lucid stock price may fall an additional 20% as it is gasping for air. Lucid's losses have blown out and they're just growing significantly. Now, is what Elon Musk said about the company true? Well, I mean, harsh but true. I think it is. Lucid's losses have increased. It predicts it will build, not necessarily sell, but build only 9,000 EVs in 2024. Elon Musk said that the EV startups' Saudi backers are the only thing keeping them alive. And while technically he's correct, he's just stating what I think is the obvious. Automakers are diving headfirst into electric cars, but they're facing some challenges. It costs a lot to make EVs if you're not ready for it, if you don't mass manufacture them. Lucid are a very boutique manufacturer. They only make this very small number of cars. Last year, they delivered 6,000 vehicles. The previous year, well, it was about that many as well, just a few under that. So Lucid deliveries aren't really growing. Net losses last year, $2.83 billion. The previous year, they lost $1.3 billion. Lucid executives, though, say, don't worry, it's all okay. They're optimistic about the future. And they are pinning their hopes on the Gravity SUV, which is their upcoming mid-size electric car, mid-size SUV. The EV startups' deliveries of 6,000 represent a 37% increase compared to 2022. So 6,000 deliveries were, you're probably thinking, hang on, you just said 8,000. Well, I did. It's because Lucid actually made 8,428 cars in 2023, but delivered 6,001. So they delivered less than 75% of what they actually made, meaning they still got a fair few cars sitting around gathering dust, and you can get one of them at a pretty good discount if you want to. Lucid says that this year they'll go from 8,428 vehicle production last year to 9,000. A very, very tiny increase. That's an increase of only about, actually less than 10%. Revenue last year was $595 million compared to revenue of $608 million in 2022. Lucid, though, did end the year with $4.7 billion in total liquidity, which is kind of a strange scenario. It doesn't really make sense. They've never made a profit. I mean, they've only made massive losses. How do they have this kind of liquidity? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Peter Rawlinson, Lucid CEO, said that the macroeconomic and higher interest rate environment has hurt Lucid's sales. It's just the environment, not the product. He also admitted that there were a few issues with the production of the entry level, the cheaper version of the Lucid Air Pure, which have now apparently been resolved or fixed. Despite the recent fluctuations, Rawlinson has confidence in the future growth of the EV market, as he should. I think their new EV looks good. It could sell well, maybe, possibly. But those production numbers are so small that even if it does do well, Lucid don't have the capacity to really make that many. Earlier this month, Lucid reduced the price of the Lucid Air by $8,000 in response to declining sales, not enough demand. As a result, the entry-level Lucid Air Pure now starts at $71,400 the Air Sedan is the only model Lucid have until the Gravity SUV comes at the end of this year. Now, Lucid is saying that they have a high volume mid-size EV set to compete with the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y, but it will enter production in, well, nearly 3 years from now, late 2026. Now, the question is, will Lucid even be around then? Now, in response to Lucid's earnings call, where it was shown, Lucid revealed that they had lost billions of dollars last year, Elon Musk said this: their Saudi sugar daddy is the only thing keeping them alive. Now, a lot of people think, oh, that's just Elon being bitter because he himself and Peter Rawlinson have had this kind of ongoing feud. But actually, whether or not that's true, I mean, maybe it is, but it's still, he's right. I mean, factually, he's correct. Musk is actually referring to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, which has up to 60% of Lucid's stock. So if the Saudi Arabian government public investment fund were to dump Lucid stock, it would be worth nothing. I mean, for one person or one conglomerate to own 60% of one company's stock price, it means, well, that company or that business or that country, in this case, Saudi Arabia, basically own Lucid. I mean, if you own more than 50%, you own the company. This means Lucid is basically a Saudi Arabian company. The Middle Eastern government made a $10 billion investment. That's where the money is, right? That's how Lucid have money, even though they've been losing billions. And they committed to purchasing 100,000 EVs from Lucid over the next 10 years. They could renege on that though. Last year, Lucid opened a production facility in Saudi Arabia to assemble the Lucid Air using pre-assembled kits imported from the United States. Following these announcements, Lucid shares fell overnight, and the stock has lost more than 90% of its value compared to its peak in 2021. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Lucid will still be around in 2030? I mean, I think they probably won't, but I could be wrong. Thanks for watching.